Hey, I'm Josh, and I'm here today to talk about a little indie franchise you may not have heard of called Pokémon. Alright, jokes aside, we've had the typical February Nintendo Direct, and yes, a video on that is coming eventually. And Pokémon Day is right around the corner, so let's break it down and talk about what we expect to see and what we hope to see. I think after the last Nintendo Direct's reveal of Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance on NSO, the first thing on everyone's mind is the first three generations of Pokemon's mainline entries. How will Nintendo handle it? Well, Zeke and I are a bit divided on what we expect Nintendo to do, so I'll hand it over to him real quick to explain what he thinks.
Hey y'all, Zeke here, and I want to talk about Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch Online. Or rather, not on the Nintendo Switch Online. I don't think the mainline games are going to be coming included with the regular Switch Online service. I think that Nintendo is going to make an exception for GameFreak, as they have in the past, and simply allow them to release the Pokemon games from Generation 1, 2, and 3 on the eShop. They were $9.99 on the 3DS, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that price point return, but I also wouldn't be surprised to see it drop some or to see it increase some. I wouldn't like the price to increase. I don't think anyone wants prices to increase, but it wouldn't catch me off guard if they did. That's my thoughts on the mainline Pokemon games on the Nintendo Switch Online, so back to you, Josh.
Thanks, Zeke. I wouldn't be surprised if that's exactly what Nintendo does with the retro Pokemon titles. It just seems like the kind of thing that they tend to let Game Freak get away with. Although, I think I may have a different solution that, while not perfect, does give more people access to Pokemon. To start, I don't think the Kanto and Johto games are coming to regular Nintendo Switch Online service. It's just not gonna happen. I'm way too cynical to hope for that at this point. But the Hoenn games and the Kanto remakes will come to Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pack. Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver, and Crystal will be available exclusively through the Game Boy Tower in Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2. Pokemon Stadium 1 will release same day with Pokemon Red and Blue, Green in Japan, built in, with Yellow coming as a later addition in some future update. Pokemon Stadium 2 will release later, with Pokemon Gold and Silver available on the same day, and Crystal coming later to that one. Finally, Pokemon Home will be fully cross-compatible with Pokemon Stadium and Generations 1 through 3. The next thing most people are expecting this year is DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Sure, everybody expected it for Legends Arceus 2, but it's becoming increasingly clear that Game Freak didn't consider that a mainline game. First, let's hear Zeke's thoughts on the DLC for Scarlet and Violet.
Well, Josh, I don't have a full-on pitch for the DLC, but I have two major wants for Scarlet and Violet. I want Kalos, and I want Mega Evolution. I greatly enjoyed my time with Pokemon X. I got it for Christmas, like a year after it released. Mega Evolution was so much fun in both X and Y and in Sun and Moon. And if you just give me that again, if you give me access to that again, I'll be as happy as a clam pearl.
Zeke and I are on the same page on that one. Paldea being based in Spain and Kalos being based in France is too perfect. Yes, we thought the same thing about the train station in Galar, but just look at that cloudy region in the upper right corner of Paldea. It's gotta be Kalos, right? I sure hope so. And there's no way they can pull off a proper return to Kalos without Megas. I think Pokemon is likely to try the Multi-Wave DLC pass again, as that seems to be Nintendo's favorite thing now, probably in the form of a 2-part expansion pass. Spin-offs are a core part of Pokémon strategy. From Stadium to Ranger to Mystery Dungeon to Picross, and many, many, many more. Outside of announcing several of these coming to Nintendo Switch Plus expansion pack, I only have 2 ideas for new spin-off games. The first is a sequel to a series that began on the Wii. Poképark is a 3D exploration game with a heavy focus on mini-games to progress the story. I think it's high time that the series got an entry on the Switch, one of the highest selling systems of all time, with some of the largest sales in Pokémon franchise history. I think the most fun, story-focused way to bring in lots of new Pokémon is to pick an island setting, since so much of Paldea and Alola were tropical in nature. I'm also biased by the Pikachu shorts that aired ahead of the early Pokémon movies, and I love the idea of an island vacation with no trainers in sight. So, if it were up to me, summer 2023 would see the release of Poképark 3, Party in Paradise.
Let me interject here. I want Mystery Dungeon back. They released Red Rescue Team DX, and it was good. It worked. They did a good job. But I want Explorers of Darkness and the other games from that storyline. I would prefer them stay in the old art style, but if they want to update them just so we have access to them, that would be wonderful as well. And another game I think we need to see return is the Pokemon Ranger series. We just saw Sonic take the idea of drawing circles around things to conquer them. Why not bring it back with Pokemon? It would be enjoyable, it would be fun, and it gives Nintendo more money to make. Back to you, Josh.
My next pitch is a bit of a departure from Pokemon mainstays, and definitely a product of my bias towards search action adventure games, but this is my video, and I'll wish for what I want. Seeing the success of Metroid Dread on Switch, GameFreak has decided that we could do that. And by we, they mean we can license out Pokemon to someone else to do that. I think the easy choice for someone that Nintendo trusts to handle a search action adventure game focused on a protected Nintendo IP is obviously Mercury Steam. So, assuming it's them or somebody like them, this will be a fully modeled 3D search action adventure game starring Lucario on an important quest. Dramatic trailer music starts now. The life force of the region is fading, and the ancient order of Aura Guardians are its sole protectors. After all the Guardians disappear mysteriously, a lone Lucario must journey far and wide to take on whatever is threatening the Tree of Life, and by extension, the world. I think Lucario is a great choice for this adventure, because he's clearly a fan favorite, company favorite, and has a good lore-based reason to get power-ups as he explores. Aura. Exploration and combat-based upgrades are a staple of search-action games. Aura perfectly explains both of these. Several of Lucario's moves in the games have been reflavored by third-party developers as being powered by his Aura, with Smash for Wii U giving us a look at how you might upgrade them via its custom moves feature. Movement upgrades will be covered by movement-based attacks like Extreme Speed and Rock Climb. Throughout the adventure, in place of brand new suits like Samus gets, Lucario could instead pick up suits based on held items in the games. The Assault Vest, the Choice items, or the Power items. Okay, yeah, that was a bit too much of a pitch, but I couldn't help myself. And that's our thoughts on what we'll see at the Pokemon Direct, or Pokemon Presents, or whatever they want to call it this year on Pokemon Day.
Thanks for joining us today. Personally, I hope I'm right, but I don't expect to be. I've not been right in the past when it comes to Nintendo. All I know is I'm excited for this Pokemon Direct.